by our awareness of the being of others. This awareness is always expanding into the awareness of being of all creation, into our awareness of the being of God. Life reaches its fully human capacity, its most profound center, when we realize that being is love. Meditation is simply the process whereby we enter fully into the mystery of life, our life, the life of others, and the life of God.
Lovely.
Thank you, Pulelehua, who finds these things every week.
It is. And I can thank Mary Lapham, who is often my source. So, and if you have not hung with her, she's just a fabulous human who is my mentor in this practice. And she has a group that meets on Thursday mornings. I think right now it's 7 in the morning my time. It's 11 o'clock where she is in Minnesota. So welcome to the welcoming prayer healing practice. I am so grateful that you were here. And Margie, can you mute yourself? Would you mind? I can't mute you for some reason because I made you a co-host. I don't know. Anyways, we're in the perfect place, in the perfect space, in the perfect time, wherever you are and whenever you are and however that is for you today. And thank you all for sharing from your heart about what's going on in your lives and the role that the welcoming prayer plays. We are very fortunate to have this practice. It's really quite an amazing practice. So, so we start the welcoming prayer practice by feeling and sinking into the body. And we'll take some time to really take ourselves into the body. The second movement of the prayer is to welcome what we're feeling. And the third movement is to let go of our false self, of the things we don't need, so that the divine indwelling can be with us and act in us. So as you stand or sit or however you are in your space, notice the space around you. What's the temperature? How much light is there in your room? What sounds are there around you? What can you see? Just connecting into the space with your breath, with your eyes, with your ears, smell, all those places, spaces, and feelings here, in this place, in this space, in this time. Hanumai, breathing in. Hanuaku, breathing out. The ha, the breath. Notice what parts of your body move with your breath. And then we're going to come into our proprioceptors. The proprioceptors are where the brain connects into the nerve endings all over the body and helps us know where we are in space, but also actually helps you be able to move the muscles and all of the things that help you move in space are triggered by the brain, and it comes through these proprioceptors. So they're incredibly valuable to us, but often as we vintage, they're not quite so active. So to help us activate them, I'm doing a light tapping. You can do a scrubbing or a scratching or whatever works for you. And And it may be different in different places of your body, but let's start at the top and wake up. All over your head. Top of your head, the back of your head, your face, your ears, your throat, your neck. And then allow your head to move as you're gently waking it up. So the shoulders and the neck are all so closely connected. You can move your head while you move your shoulders and notice that. And as you awaken the senses of the body to help those proprioceptors stay vibrant, allowing the synovial fluid to flow in your nerve endings through movement, coming down your arms into your wrists and your hands, elbows, arms, wrists, hands, however that works for you. And today you may be feeling it in a different way than you would later or yesterday. So then as we come down, awakening the body where the heart and the lungs and the tummy, and then the owl, the gut, just waking it up. And then whatever you can reach on your back, waking that up. I got my scarf so I could wake up my back. And you might want to rub up against a wall, or maybe you're someone who can actually reach all those places, but helping that part of you wake up. Oh yes, a stick is a great thing, a kalalau, look at you. So, oh yes, and your jackets, all these different ways that we have of connecting in. So we have the torso all the way around. Don't forget the sides. You have lots of lymph, which only move if you move. And so you can have all those things connecting into the body. And then we come down to the seat, the pelvis, the hip joints, where the legs connect into the body. Noticing, waking those up. And then coming down your legs to your feet, however you can best reach, or imagine reaching if you're not quite down there, or maybe using a tool, however it is. But noticing your feet, your legs, all of those places and spaces. And notice your clothing. How does your clothing attach to your body? What does that feel like? How does that activate? All of those places and spaces. And once you've activated all of those with touch to allow your proprioceptors, now move a little bit in the space and notice how you're connecting into this space. How are the proprioceptors working to help you connect? Does it feel different than it did before we started? Who knows? Now we have our spinal connection from the head to the tail. So wiggle your spine. To connect to your spine, imagine the head can connect to the tail behind you. Putting your hip out on one side, have the head go to that side so that you can connect the head to tail on the side like a giant C. And to the other side, hip out, head goes towards the hip. And then forward, head connecting to the tail through the front. And then wiggle your spine. And notice all the parts of your spine that you can go. You have the spine starts up here at the neck, your cervical spine, and then in the center here, your thoracic, where your heart is. You can bring it forward and back and wiggle. And then down into the lumbar, the lower spine, their hips, and behind all of those wonderful organs that are keeping us alive. What a wonderful thing. Connecting into those parts, spaces, and places. In this time, in this place. So walking through your space, notice the lower body. How do the feet connect to the floor? In socks or shoes, or I'm naked feeted, barefoot today. So however you're connecting to the earth through your lower body, from your seat, from your pelvis, from the core, all the way down into the earth. Notice, how are you connecting? What are your feet doing? What are your ankles, your knees, your hips? What is all that doing, and how is that connecting and supporting the rest of your body? And remembering the breath. Then coming into the upper body. And how would you move the upper body to notice where you are in space? The upper body, your chest and your arms and your head and your neck and your eyes. How do you connect? How do you connect? All the different ways you can connect in the upper body and the lower body. Upper, lower. And you know, there's no distinctive line between upper and lower. It's a sense. How do you sense it's the lower, and how do you sense that this is upper? And there may be parts that are really both. And isn't that fabulous to be? Ah, to be. Ah. And back to the spine. And then let's come into the softness of the core, where we soften, soften, soften into the inner places where all those things that we need and we want, we cherish. And when we're ready, in our own time and way, we reach out into the world around us. So we come into the core, and we come in, out into the distal, out into the reaches. Maybe you can notice your kinesphere, that kind of bubble that surrounds you. And then when you're ready, you come back into that center, into that core, into that softness. And again, reaching out when you're ready, noticing all the place around you. And you return to the spine, the wiggle, the breath. And then we can come into our sidedness. So as we're choosing, what am I going to do today? What is the best way forward in this particular thing or event or time? We can take it into the bodies. We can take it into one side of the body, which activates the other side of the brain, and you can see, see how that feels, taking that choice, taking that decision, taking that image, taking that time. And then into the other side. One side and the other side. We return to the core, to the center, to the spine, to the breath. And then we reach across the space as if you were a giant one-sided X. From the bottom corner to the top. And when you're ready, bring the two halves together. So counterlateral and cross-lateral, where we take and we stretch out. So we're crossing over that part of the brain. We're crossing over the brain in two different ways. One, we cross over both sides of the brain through the body, being stretched apart, and then again with the two parts coming together, helping build that brain, build those processes. And then on the other side. And build that brain, build those processes, that space and place and time. And returning to the core, to the spine, to the breath. And lastly, we'll build on our vestibular system. And here's an interesting way. I'm gonna make a figure 8 in the space, walking, but I'm gonna lean into it. So I'm gonna lean into this figure 8. So I'm gonna walk figure 8, leaning into the direction I'm going. And then partway through, I'm gonna lean the other direction. If you get dizzy before this, pause. But if you can do this, a couple times leaning each way and then come to center and pause. Just another way to build your vestibular. And then come and pause, whether you feel guilty or not. You've really stimulated your system now. 15-20 seconds is usually enough. And then you come into the stillness and feel the healing that happens in stillness and growth. And now I'm going to have you, when you feel centered again and still and you feel like your wholeness has come back, the same thing, but do it walking backwards. So walking backwards through that figure 8, just figuring out how to even do it, walking backwards. Is a full mind, body, spirit experience. And then if you can lean one way or the other, be my guest. I cannot go backwards and lean, but if you can, more power to you. And then just go through it backwards. This is building your vestibular system, and it's also really taking that work we did with the proprioceptors and pushing it to its limits. And then when you're ready, you come back into stillness. And the breath and the spine. Hi, Janice. Nice to have you here. And that's just to get us to be able to really do that first movement of the welcoming prayer. So the first movement of the welcoming prayer is to feel and sink into the body. So now that we've really activated the body, notice, take a moment to feel and sink in. And without a label, without judgment, notice, where are you drawn in this moment of today? In this moment as it is, where are you drawn? Notice that, where in your body you're drawn. And then welcome. We're welcoming this feeling, sensation, memory, whatever it is for you, as an opportunity to consent to that divine indwelling, that divine spark that's in you through the feeling in the body. Not judging it, but it's a connection. The divine is with us in this temple. So notice for you where that is. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And then the third movement is to let go. To let go of the false self. To let go of our desire for security, affection, control. Let go of that strong desire to have them so more than we might actually need, beyond what the divine indwelling. And the divine indwelling is with us, helping provide those. So we let go of our desire for security, affection, control, and embrace this moment as it is. This moment as it is. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So we feel and sink into the body. Noticing, welcoming what we feel. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And we let go. Letting go of the desire for security, affection, control. And to embrace this moment as it is. A prayer designed to be done in the moments of everyday life. It's on the go, consent on the go. Here we are. So now take a couple minutes to take yourself into your own prayer. And then Margie will bring us out with the reading or centering prayer moment or something. Margie will bring us out and take us into centering in whatever way the divine indwelling is speaking to her today. So, welcome, welcome.